Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome back. Another episode. I was actually going to say what episode we're on, but I've totally forgot. I keep doing a thing where I'll record at the start. Anyway, I was recording quite a few episodes back to back, and then more recently, I've been sort of taking a break where I won't play for a day, but I'm probably still uploading a video to YouTube every day up until maybe now, because I took a bit of a break from playing, maybe one or two nights, and it's kind of crazy how you forget everything that's going on in the game. Well, I do anyway, just from not playing for like a day. We do have a pretty big episode though. Having said that, there should be a lot of events that will unfold. The main one being we should hopefully, fingers crossed, rise in size to tiny. We finally got over the first hurdle of size, and then of course once we hit tiny, the next stumbling block will be 25 pop, where we will get the Wrestle World broadcaster. And then I believe it's 35 pop to hit small size. Which I know when you hit small size, your requirements go up to 2 storylines. I don't know if a minimum roster size will be put in play when we hit tiny. I'm not sure. But apart from going up in size, which will hopefully happen, here in our first September show, I'm sticking to 2, just for September. I don't know. Maybe depending on when we go up in size, we'll maybe experiment with it and do one event a month, and then maybe try 2 and see how the finances work out. But we also have our tournament finale. Of course, the Blueprint Battle Tournament, Papa Swole and Hangman in the final, which will be our main event tonight. And then the winner of that at the end of the month will fight Architect for the title. So we'll have the tournament winner against the champ. We've been doing some pretty good things as well, I must say, with our tournament. As you guys know, we've been keeping a close eye on our workers' popularity, and it has been paying off. You know, it's pretty early days to do a tournament. Maybe not, but for me, how I usually play on my own personal saves, I probably mentioned before, but things like tournaments and lots of belts and stuff, I don't usually introduce till way later down the line. But for the sake of, I guess, realism and make it so there's more going on outside of our main event or like our top 3 or 4 guys, I'm trying to incorporate all that stuff a bit earlier. I think for leaving people off the show, I think we'll try and include everyone. We actually have Zombie Boy back. He fought on one of the shows against Architect for the belt, but it got a really bad rating because Zombie Boy is scatterbrained. But considering how good his pop is and his skills, we only pay him 240 a show, which might seem like a lot compared to everyone else on the roster, because I think Blue Dragon's the highest after his wage rise at like 80, 90, 60. Wow. So yeah, everyone, like, we just have a quick peak, like boom, boom, like 30, 40, then 240. And so I want to keep Zombie Boy, sorry, for just a little bit. He won't be on every show. He will be on this show though, but we need to just I want to see how he does. Of course, reaching his capabilities without a scripted match. I'm curious to see how well he can do. We won't keep him forever because I don't want to keep losing 240 per show using him. But yeah, we won't necessarily use him as a hoover, as I like to put it, like we did with Connor and stuff, where we just have them lose pretty much every show. I don't really want to do that because he is young and he's essentially someone I could use at some point. Like, I could see him coming in. I think he's in a tag team, right? Who is it with? He's in with Death Wish as the Blood Soldiers. I think I've actually seen Death Wish pop up, but I don't know if he's any good. So yeah, we don't want to have Zomboy leave on bad terms, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. So we'll need to be a bit smart with that. We will keep everyone because we are still running our events at an hour and a half, I believe. I don't think I changed it. So we should be, theoretically, we should hopefully be able to fit. Oh, actually, that'll be quite hard. I was going to say we'll be able to fit everyone in this show, but it's going to be we have like, I think 14 workers right now. 13? Oh, okay. Well, let's see. Maybe. Keep it generic. Also, you guys may remember way back on episode 1 or 2, I was talking about calling out workers, and it can essentially help with their cardio. It turns out I'm an absolute fucking idiot, and you do it on your post show. You know, when you can do your post show talks and you can praise your workers, you actually do it through there. I seen it on I think it was on the forums I saw it. You actually do it on there, and you can criticise them on their cardio or on their microphone skills, and it has a 50-50 chance, I guess, or depending on who it is, that they have a bad sort of, it has a negative effect or it works. So I essentially had a whole year disabling mutant and having him pissed at us when it was like so much more easily avoidable if I actually just did a little bit of research before it. But you live and learn, I guess. But it's yeah, pretty annoying now in hindsight looking back at it. But then most things in life are pretty annoying when you think about it in hindsight. Anyway, I need, for something coming up, a gimmick idea, and I need it basically now, which is also another reason why I'm running 2 shows. A safe bet. Okay, that sounds good enough. No restrictions. That's good. So perfect. I'm also, because we actually ended, I think it was last show we forgot to use anything, so we have quite a lot of points saved up here. I think we were at the max. Yeah, we would have been 250. Let's do creative finish for our Blueprint Battle tournament finale on the show. A bit of a gamble, and it can only be applied to matches where mutant is set to be the victor, so that is not good. Let's try one more. A near certainty. Oh, also I should mention I updated the game, which I was very late in doing. You guys maybe noticed. I think honestly, probably when we were on maybe episode 3 or 4, a new update for the game came out, and I just didn't download it. I just didn't know there was one, and this is a new thing. I'm pretty sure this new a near certainty. I don't know if this has replaced the surefire hit, but I think they did it essentially because there's still a very, very, very small margin that the idea can fail. But I mean, a near certainty. I mean, if that doesn't work, then we must have some sort of boogeyman voodoo doll casted over us, because that would be a real shame. And we'll go character idea. I want to try get one for Blue Dragon. A big gamble, and it can only be applied to Papa Swole. Just discard that straight away. And we still have 60. Let's try one more. We've basically just ran through the whole 250 a near certainty again. No, okay, that works. Yeah, we basically just went through every single creative energy point we had, which is yeah, pretty wild. It's a bit, I mean, I get why there's a cap on it, but it's a bit annoying that there is a cap, I think. Just me. It is cool though. I do like that concept. It's very good. Okay, Marco Gonzalez was brought before the wrestlers' court accused of making a mess backstage, and I'm surprised it's Zombie Boy that's the sort of general here, because I think he doesn't have a very good personality. He's a bit of a poopy head. Did have a positive small impact, and so was Blue Dragon, absorbed by his phone when he should be paying attention to the locker room meeting. God's sake, Blue Dragon, small positive impact though, and also Mutant and the Architect have bonded recently. Okay. And Davis Wayne Newton and the Hangman have bonded. Okay, this is good, because I think our backstage is looking pretty decent. Let's go for team bonding as well, since it's all happy vibes, it seems, tonight. Okay, nice, all strengthened. I'll take it. Team bonding is done. Let's not forget to apply this to Blue Dragon. Let me actually have a look at backstage. Is he negative? No, I guess not. He's not. Oh, he is. He's mildly positive. Okay, I must be thinking of someone else. I am a bit mixed up with the workers right now, because we brought in so many in such a short space of time to use. Okay, reset this. Blue Dragon. Creative idea. Character idea. A near certainty. If this fails, I'll be pissed. Was a success. That's good. It's just more to get his momentum and stuff up, because he is happy. We've managed to get him to cool, which is one off being back to neutral, so that is pretty good. I just don't really want it to be in the dirt, because I don't really mind Blue Dragon. And he's been involved a little bit more, even with the storyline, with the Architect kind of essentially picking on him and being an absolute menace. Right. Yeah, 90 minutes long, so we still have our events on an hour and a half. We're going to go straight in with our tournament. We have some big things to go on here. Hangman. Now, we need to be careful when we book the other matches because this one can't really go that long because Hangman will get penalised on stamina. But the winner of the tournament is going to be Papa Swole. It's going to be an open match, and we're going to keep Hangman strong because essentially how this is going to end after we put our creative finish on it, because we definitely do not want to forget that. Right. During the match, we have it during? No, we won't. We'll do it as the finish. It's going to be a distraction finish. And believe it or not, my oh my, it's the architect who distracts Hangman, essentially giving the win. We didn't put any notes here for type of finish, did we? No, good. I don't want it to be essentially clean. It'll be a flash pinfall finish with a distraction from the architect on Hangman. Hangman, of course, has essentially been avoiding. No, sorry, the architect's been avoiding Hangman since he returned, and he's obviously been playing it off, playing it cool. He's not scared of him. He's not worth his time essentially. But when it looked like Hangman was essentially about to get the upper hand on Papa Swole, he interrupts. I kind of want to make it so the architect is at ringside. I'm sure there's a note for that where you can just do it. They're at ringside. Or can you do it there on the commentary? Which wouldn't really work in this scenario because we don't have anyone else. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't have to be. We'll just do the architect. He's essentially at the commentary table, even though you just have to use your imagination because no one's commentating on it, but he's just there, like sitting or whatever, chilling out, watching the final of his quote unquote own tournament, which isn't really the case, but yeah, book that in. Papa Swole is taking the dub. He's taking it home. We're actually also going to do. I need to be careful with this booking because it might outshine the main event just for the simple fact the champ's going to be in it and he's actually going to be teaming up with the architect. And they're going up against Max because he'll even out our score. We could do the doctor as well, actually. Yeah, let's do that. This is essentially. And basically, we're going to do architect to win. Not even open match, clean win. I kind of want to do limited involvement, but it's going to. Nah, we'll not. We'll just leave it like this. Architect to win. The loser will be Max. Max, we might get rid of Max soon, just essentially to replace him with someone else. He's very old. We have no plans for him. His momentum's in the ground too. It's just, I don't know. It just seems like his usage is sort of running course. This is actually going to open the show, this match, and the reason for it is because we're actually going to have. I believe actually in the interview I saw, is it maybe under quick angle? Yes, they added a new thing in the update to you saving the day, which is something I'll probably use. Standard 1-2 punch where a worker or team are beaten down before the cavalry makes the save. So I could have used that when I was in the mix and the heat of doing the Founding Fathers storyline, but albeit nice addition. Non-speaking appearance. Well, should we have him cutting a promo? He's horrible though, right? He's not. No, hell no. Not even unscripted. Yeah, you're saying nothing. And basically, it's the architect and Blue Dragon backstage in an angle here. And it's basically the architect comes in, just waltzes in to Blue Dragon's locker room, telling him, not to worry. He really likes Blue Dragon. He's essentially just belittling him and patronising him as he always seems to be doing. He seems to have a weird spot for targeting Blue Dragon, and he basically says, don't worry, but also don't get in the way tonight. His reputation's on the line, and that's kind of how the match goes itself too. It's basically architect against Max Mayhem and Doc, where Blue Dragon just is essentially outside. Outside, he doesn't get tagged in at all. Pretty much, the architect's just doing all the work, and this is just the intro to the show. Right before they're about to make their walk backstage, he just says to him, don't get in the way. Just do your usual thing. but he's also telling him how he cares about him. You know, he cares a lot about the young workers. He wants to see the promotion grow, and he's the future. He's one of the guys of the future. Blah blah blah. But you can just tell he doesn't really mean it. He doesn't really care, essentially. We're going to have to be careful with this booking too. I actually don't really care. I'm saying that as if I cared about the matches outshining the main event. It's just more for, like, I don't know, realistic terms. I feel like I don't really like it. We might have to do another tag match here. You know what I'm going to do actually? Let's do a triple threat with Zombie Boy, Marco, and Remy. We have to make sure this one is not scripted. So let's take that off. Zombie Boy will get the win over Marco. We'll have it be open, but it will be a clean win for the Zombie Boy himself. We'll move that match up here. And then we'll also, with the 4 we have left, I think we could put Davis Wayne up against the Historian. 13-minute match. Davis Wayne, open match. We won't give it clean or anything. We can move him up here, and then last but not least, we're going to have the Mutant keeping the momentum going. That'll be a good match actually here. Mutant and Jules. This will be an open match, clean win though for Mutant. And also we're actually going to try and we'll do a Mutant promo in the ring, 5 minutes. It's essentially just after his match. We don't really have a specific list for it. But in the ring, 5 minutes. Will we have it scripted? I feel like he can do it not scripted, surely. I mean, everything's good but his microphone. 64 is not the worst. Let's script it and see. And it's just him after his win, still in the ring, cutting a promo, hyping himself up, getting the crowd riled up. And then we're also going to do a Papa Swole interview, basically getting asked about his match tonight. How's he feeling? He's he's into the final of the tournament. He has a chance to win and go on at the end of the month, a fight for the belt. And Papa Swole's on a roll. Of course, he knocked out Davis Wayne Newton in the last round, which was wild as well. Did I add this properly? Yeah, Papa Swole being interviewed backstage. Boom. We are using everyone here, which is good because I didn't give anyone a night off, but it's also bad because we essentially are paying out all our workers. But this is pretty good, I think. This looks not too shabby. Yeah, okay, let's run this. Okay, here we go. Big show, the finale of the tournament in front of a record 157 people. It starts off backstage, pretty much behind the curtain, not so much in the locker room, I would say. Blue Dragon and the Architect, they're about to team up in the opener. And as always, the Architect, he's just belittling, patronising Blue Dragon, telling him, he's not really saying it in an aggressive way, but he's basically telling him, don't get in the way, don't worry. You're the future, and I care a lot about the future. You are our young wrestler of the year, so you just sit back, relax, let me do all the work. Just being a bit of a pain in the arse, and the Blue Dragon's kind of just, you can tell he's like annoyed, but he's just kind of like, whatever, dude, like, he's essentially grinding his gears every single show now these days, the Architect, but then playing it off as if he's playing stupid, like he doesn't get it, like, oh, because he, of course, in the first round of the Blueprint tournament told him he's rooting for him and everything, and he's also actually he's handpicked his first opponent, and his first opponent was Davis Wayne Newton, the ex-champion, so he's not really looking out for him. It's pretty obvious, but decent. Architect improvised well. We get a 31, which is good enough for us right now. Crowd hotter. Show off to a strong start, and we get a 53 tag match. Oh my god, Blue Dragon and Architect have excellent chemistry. Teaming together, that's so funny. That's like giving me so many ideas in my head now. That's okay. Got the crowd whore. Very good match though. Architect head and shoulders above everyone else, bringing in a 64, which is really good. Blue Dragon with a 45. I believe that's the first positive chemistry link we have for tag team. And out of all the people, it's Architect and Blue Dragon with what's going on with those two. That's hilarious. But superb wrestling, good heat. And of course, the champ, the Architect, and Blue Dragon win when the Architect submits Max Mayhem with a blueprint. 64 rating is solid, of course. Huge, huge start to the show. Gets the crowd whore. Moving into a 57 backstage interview with Papa Swole. He doesn't have his hot catchphrase anymore, but he still puts in a 57. He's obviously on a huge roll since coming back from breaking his arm. He beat Davis Wayne Newton in the semi-finals last month of the Blueprint tournament, and now he's up against the Hangman himself in the finale tonight in the main event. Solid interview rating. Into a 52 we get here. We of course have this match unscripted because I'm kind of testing the waters with Zombie Boy, who does also get the win here. He pins Marco Gonzalez with a flying double stomp. He only gets a 44, which I think that's roughly about the same as what he got fighting scripted against the Architect when we first used him. Okay, interesting. Remy, the standout guy here. He doesn't carry in terms of notes, but he gets a 52. Marco, not much to expect here with a 36. He is very young, still very green, I would say. And then, of course, Zombie Boy with the 44 who takes up the win. But 52 rating. Very good. Up to par, definitely. Then we move into our singles match. Mutant and Jules Nightpool in a 57. This is really good. I mean, I would take ratings like this for our main event, so I'm kind of curious now how the main event will do. 57 is really good. Mutant with a 53. 48 for Jules Knight. And of course, Mutant benefits from a hot new move, and he also wins, defeating Jules Knight with a Tina Turner, keeping very strong momentum going for himself, Mutant. And then we, of course, have Mutant on the mic. Did we script this, or did I end up not doing it? Is it not going to tell me? Can't remember. But it does very good anyway. 47. I feel like I said I was going to, and I don't feel like I did. I don't actually remember changing it to scripted. I may have though. My memory's so bad. It was literally 2 minutes ago, Sam. Jesus. But anyway, good rating. 47. I'll take it for Mutant, to be honest, at this point. Good angles so far on the show, which is nice. Then we have a 55 between Davis Wayne and the Historian. Pretty solid rating. 56 for Davis, 43 for the Historian. The Mutant and Jules Knight match did better than this, which is quite surprising. But it's Davis Wayne Newton who gets the win over the Historian by submission with a STF. And I believe we have our finale up next. Oh. No. Okay, fair enough. I can't complain. Papa Swole gets a 58, which is huge. I think that's his best in-ring performance yet. But Hangman, really off his game, gets a 42. Our creative finish was a success. And in the final of the Architect's Blueprint battle, Papa Swole defeats Hangman by pinfall after a distraction from the Architect, who of course was sitting ringside for the match. It's essentially the closest he's been to Hangman since Hangman's returned. He's kind of been avoiding him and running away from him, you could say. And he adds salt even more in the wound after, of course, he betrayed Hangman to essentially swoop up the belt. And then Hangman's first real close attempt at getting a shot and getting his hands on the Architect stops him. And in the meantime, it's Papa Swole who gets the win. He wins the tournament, which now locks in for the end of the month. Papa Swole will get a title shot 1-on-1 against the Architect with like no disqualifications either, so there's no way of the match getting stopped through DQ or anything. You know, there's got to be a winner, submission or pinfall. Someone has got to win. So we'll see how that goes. 52 is not the best. I feel like Hangman's kind of messed us up here with his inconsistency. Not to worry too much. 52 is not great, actually. I think that could be the worst match of the whole show, I think. I think maybe one match was lower, but that is not great. We might get... Do we get penalised for stamina? No, we didn't. I think round about a 13, 14-minute match is the most Hangman can do. He only get penalised for inconsistency, which... No shit, Sherlock, with the note we got. So not the best ending to the show or to our tournament, but, I mean, it's still very good. 53. I think 80% of your whole overall rating is boosted or made up from your main event. So it's a bit, yeah, it looks like the 52 match was the same as the lowest rated, the triple threat with Zombie Boys. So that it's a bit of a shame, because if Hangman wasn't off his game, he probably would at least have had quite a few performance points up from 44. So this would have at least been a 55, 56, which would have bumped this up, but 53. Can't complain. And obviously here, the show rating is increased. Or the show increased their popularity, I should say, sorry, which means we'll give it to Papa Spool, and we'll also give it to... Let's go Blue Dragon. Why not? Make the speech. Was very happy, was pleased. Financial report, we lose 631. But here we go, it's the big moment. We are up to 17, which is huge. Huge milestone. So now if we just do a little quick advance here, if I check my mail, we hopefully have rised in size, which is perfect timing. You know, our first show is a tiny company, and it's our tournament winner against the champion. Yeah, here we go, rise in size. We've risen to tiny, which might change our prestige a little bit. Let's see. So we have very low prestige, and we have some momentum, which has gone up, definitely. Oh, hold on. Oh, we only have 13 workers on our roster, and we actually need 16 now, so I actually need... Okay. I'm going to have to bring in... It looks like maybe then our events staying at an hour and a half rather than 1 hour might actually have... We may actually have to keep it, because if we have 16 active wrestlers but do our events still on 1 hour or go back to 1 hour, it's going to be really hard to fit everyone in. So I think an hour and a half is going to be the new time length. So I'm going to have to go off cam here before the next show at the end of the month and bring in 3 more wrestlers. We shouldn't lose as much now, even though we're doing two shows this month again. I don't know if we'll keep doing that going forward. It will probably all depend on how things are on tiny size. We shouldn't go up in pop again this month, I don't think, even though we went up in size. But I guess we'll see. But anyway, I'll cut it here, and I'll actually need to go, so I'll be back. Well, I'll be back in 2 minutes for you guys, but probably tomorrow for me. So hopefully I remember before advancing or something, and we don't get penalised. So I need to go. So I didn't think we would have this, to be honest. The 16 active wrestlers. I don't know why it feels like I have more than 13, even though I probably don't. But yeah, I'll need to have a little think about who to bring in, because I was actually going to get rid of Max, but if we get rid of him, then we need to get 4. And I don't want to... I kind of like gradually, like drip feeding new workers into the promotion. I'm a bit annoyed that I'm going to have to add 3 new faces at once, like hit myself with them all to learn them and stuff, but not to worry. This is good news. We're rising in size, we're going up. But I will be back at the end of the month for our big main event between Papa Swole and the Architect. Okay, we're back. We have, of course, big show now. We not only have the finale of our tournament winner going up against the champion, but we actually, it's in good timing, as we have our first ever show now at tiny size. We have off camera, I've done a few things. Of course, we need more workers now, which I have done. I also changed our title. It was just the PWW champion. It was a bit of a placeholder, like I mentioned when we made it. It will be the Great Lakes champion, which will most likely be our mid card title, because I vaguely mentioned, I believe in episode 1, depending on the size of your company, if you create a new title, it can give you a huge bump on the prestige. And now that we actually require quite a bit more workers, I don't really want to introduce our main championship yet. So I think soon, I don't know when, I'm trying to think of how to implement it, but the next title we'll introduce will probably be the tag team titles, I think. I need to do a new render for this. I don't know why it blocked out the barriers. The Chat GPT managed to, after a few tries, generate me a pretty decent looking logo. So yeah, Great Lakes Champion will be our mid-card title. Of course, it'll go down in history now. It's our oldest ever title. I'm pretty sure we'll do that because I think when we hit small is when we'll make our main, like our prestige world champion, and it'll get a nice boost. I think maybe to celebrate being on Wrestle World, maybe that's when we can introduce the tag titles, because we're on 17 pop right now. We need 25 to get on Wrestle World, so that's like at least maybe another year away. It's just so I don't have 16 odd workers or 18 odd workers all just eyes peeled on the one title, But yeah, just a little update on that. Great Lakes title, mid card, finally has a name. Of course, obviously, as time goes on, though, we'll be introducing loads of new stuff, like new titles and tournaments and all sorts with our events, which I actually already have planned out. We probably won't move to events till small size, though. It will really all depend. Same with actually being on Wrestle World, because we'll need to update our production being on Wrestle World, and it'll cost a lot of money. Anyway, I have a few things planned out here. Some I won't mention because it will be spoilers, even though you might probably notice. But we have a few new signings now. The first one, right, let me just say I'm not necessarily, not that I'm not happy with it, but I did mention before I was trying to drip feed new workers into the promotion as and when I seen fit based on the finances, but now I'm forced, my hand's forced, and I need to kind of dump a bunch. I say a bunch, it's like 5 or 4. But basically, I wanted to get a nice mix of experienced workers that are on my shortlist, like guys I actually want to use in the company, and a mix of like up and comer young guys that we can build. But the big issue I ran into is the younger guys, the more green guys. There's not very many, especially ones that are based in America, that I actually liked. So I kind of bit the bullet and I signed arguably my 2 favourite ever Seaverse workers to use. Ernest Youngman, of course, he's the first. Now, the reason I brought Ernest in, he's amazing. He's like so good, but I kind of need to use him, because if we don't bring him in now, we already are kind of late in the sense it's inevitable that a big company's going to come in and swoop him up and sign him. It's going to be soon, probably. I mean, he's 40 pop in the Great Lakes for us, so he instantly comes in as the most over guy. So I'm curious to see. We're going to get a huge bump, I think, in our ratings and stuff, and in our performance levels. So it'll be fun to use him, to get a chance to use him before we never probably see him again. But yeah, he looks really good this year too. I haven't had a chance to use him at all, but he was definitely my favourite worker on the 2020 version of the game. And also one of my others who is on my shortlist and I really loved using on TEW 2020 is Logan Wolfsbane. In my own personal save in 2020, Logan Wolfsbane and Ernest Youngman were essentially my Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. They were the 2 spearheads, you could say, in my company. They had crazy good, legendary storylines against each other, rivalries, main eventing so many events. I think they were both like 4-time champions in my promotion too. So I'm really excited to use Logan, but he's also of similar stature, to Ernest, where it's only a matter of time before he gets snapped up too. He's a little younger than Ernest, but also very good. Very, very good. But yeah, we bring in Logan, we bring in Ernest, both guys I was planning on hoping to use anyway, but I've obviously had to bite the bullet. Next, when we brought in is Miller Ford, who comes in as a face. Logan and Ernest are both heels. I've never used Miller before, but he does look really good. He's more sort of a flashy aerial high flyer guy. He is listed as a technical, no, sorry, a regular wrestler because he also has very good technical skills. His fundamentals are very good. Performance not so much, but in terms of just a good worker, um, I'm curious to see how he does. I think he's got a lot. Yeah, he's not really got much pop. I think Logan had 25, Ernest has 40. Miller's not quite up there, but hopefully he's quite a good addition. He is 31, but good in the ring nonetheless. Then we have Sandman Winks. He's one of the younger guys I brought in. He's actually really good though. Apart from his selling, which isn't even that bad either, he's actually really good. He has 66 psychology at 24 years old too. 81 star quality. I do recognise Sandman Winks, the name. I've never used him either. Better as a heel, professional. You know, we try and make sure the personality types are all good. Then next up is another youngster. Well, he's not actually as young as Sandman, but 26, and he also pretty solid, decent star quality and charisma. His fundamentals are good. Yeah, he's not bad. I've never used him before either. Stevie Stanley. He looks like a very classic old school babyface. Although he's set to debut as a party animal, which he's tag team specialist too. I never noticed that. We're not going to do much with the gimmicks, to be honest. And I think that was all. Was it just the 4? Why do I feel like there was 5? Am I missing one? I don't think so then. Yeah, so Stevie comes in. Miller, Stevie Miller, Sandman, Ernest and Logan. So those 5, pretty good additions. The only thing it's putting me off doing, which I wanted to do, hence the reason I wanted to sign young up and comers that we can build ourselves, is so I can finally assign the architect as our head trainer, which he has the sort of personality and the attributes to do it. But because we're signing guys who are already very good basics wise, he would only be able to potentially have one student at the minute. So it's still a bit pointless to assign him as head trainer. So yeah, we won't be doing that. But big show here tonight. I have obviously advanced forward. I don't know if we'll use all our new workers. You know, I don't even know if we'd have enough. We won't use. We definitely don't need to use them all here. I don't want to necessarily debut them all at the one time. Let's leave. Do you have any pop? I didn't really check. 10. Let's leave Ernest off just now. He can have the night off. Zombie Boy can have the night off. And so can. Also, it's worth noting Ernest Youngman, for having 40 popularity, he's costing us less money than almost everyone we used on our tournament. We brought in Frankie Boy Fernandez, who I think had 36 pop for like $500 a show, and I believe Ernest is earning like 260 or 230, so it's like a real steal. Okay, Logan will have on the show, and obviously I did mention about the tag team situation. The tag team titles will probably be introduced next, so I need to start mixing up our tags a little bit more and trying to get good chemistry and stuff. I think maybe we use everyone. It seems like quite a lot of guys here though. You can have the night off, and so can you. Right, let's just go with that. I don't really necessarily have a plan for who was getting left off and who wasn't, but that'll work. We'll go generic. 186 fans expected, so there's like a nice 30 attendance bump up now that we've gone up in size. Creative ideas, we have Mutants Creative Finish, which is not going to get used. It's only a bit of a gamble. In fact, no, we can keep it. And a safe bet on a gimmick idea, which is going to be getting used tonight. Right. Let's see. Creative Finish, we need. Likely to succeed, right? That sounds fine. Likely to succeed. Do we try again? I kind of want to try angle idea just to use it, just for the sense of using it, because yeah, let's just do it. Safe bet, that works. Because basically, nothing crazy, like I'm literally using it on an angle that would do not very good at, oh no. Mutant turned up very late. Give him a warning. It's a bit out of the blue for Mutant. He's the only person that's ever turned up late, and he's done it twice now. We'll do Inspire for tonight. It's quite a big show in the sense of our history. Right. First, I want to book, because I'll forget to do it if I don't do it right now. I want to do Hangman, who isn't great anyway on the mic. Wait, what? Oh, shit. I didn't even notice. It must have, the angle idea we done, I didn't realise there was restrictions on it. I always do this, always. We're going to do this anyway then. I was going to have Hangman open up the show, being pissed about what happened when, of course, he essentially, the architect cost him the final of the tournament. Anyway, we'll do this, because I still want to see it in action. We'll have Davis intro the crowd then. Davis intro, and it's more just he can work improvised. Sometimes he fails, but we'll give it a shot. Angle in the ring, 5 minutes, cutting a promo. David's Wayne Newton, safe bet, and we'll now let's do our main event for the title. I don't know why I auto-named that already. The Great Lakes Champion. Of course, our champ, the Architect, is up against the winner of the tournament, Papa Swole. 18 minutes sounds good. Now, we have a lot to unpack here. The winner is Papa Swole. He's going to be our new champion in an open match. We're going to leave type of finish off because we have a lot of outside interference here. It's going to be not it will be a finish, but during the match, we have, of course, Hangman. He's fucking pissed after getting cost that shot. Essentially, all of the Architect's demons, you could say, are coming out. You know, everyone he's pissed off is coming out and essentially doing him dirty. And the big one is, of course, we know for weeks and weeks, the Architect's been hassling Blue Dragon, and he's essentially his downfall. This whole empire, I guess, in the sense, has come crashing down, and it's essentially Blue Dragon who does it, who puts the nail in the coffin to take the belt off the Architect. And with that, Blue Dragon's also, he'll have a new gimmick, and he's turning face, which is quite funny due to the Architect's actions. We had Hangman turn face, and they basically still hate each other. And we also now have we have Blue Dragon turning face, and this is actually also finally at long last going to end our storyline. I'm very tempted. Let's see the creative finish. Yeah, I almost forgot to add that. I'm tempted to make them go all out, but nah, I think we'll leave it. This is good enough. So, scripted match, Papa Swole to win. Architect gets distracted by Hangman. Blue Dragon finishes him off essentially, and we'll have a new champion on our first show as Tiny Size. That should, hopefully that's a banger. Hopefully that gives very solid rating. I also want to try, this shows you how much I'm getting into the save. Before I went to sleep last night, I was thinking about essentially what belt I'm going to introduce next, and I don't know why, but the idea of seeing if Jules Knight and the Historian have any history together just came to me. They kind of stand out as it would make sense for them to be teaming up. So we're actually going to have them two in a tag match, and we'll put them up against. I never thought this far ahead. We probably should do two faces. I'm kind of tempted to do Miller to see how he does, and we'll have Miller team up with. You know what, that works. Let's give him Mutant as well. This should be a pretty solid match, actually. We will actually have them win. The Historian can get the win pin on the debut. We will keep it open though. Won't have it clean. Davis intro. Usually we always have the person who intros fight on the opener, but I think for the opener tonight, let's mix it up a little bit. We'll actually do Logan. He can go up against. Tempted to give him someone it's not really going to. Let's give him the dock. Go 12 minutes. Logan, open match, clean win. Makes his debut. I'm tempted to use that creative finish on the Mutant Tag Team match just because we have one for him. Although I think he has to win to use it, so never mind. Also, Blue Dragon and Hangman. Well, Blue Dragon's not fighting, he's just in that main event scene. I think. Oh. Well, Davis is being used. He'll be used. He'll get used. We probably should have left you off the show. Okay, I have an idea. We're actually going to do triple threat with these three. You have not much pop. Oh, Remy has quite a lot of pop, actually. Well, just for the sake of that, because I do like Remy, we'll have Remy win. Pin on Marco. Open match. We essentially could keep Sandman Winks strong here, but he doesn't have that much pop to protect. Like, it's not that big a deal if he drops a point. Like, it's not the end of the world. Right. We are using everyone. Let me double check I've done this right, because the main event's kind of important. It goes swift. We have that. We're also going to do... We usually do a Papa Swole, but we're actually going to do... interview backstage. And he's essentially just being asked about the main event tonight, you know. He's much more of a talkative guy, you could say, being a face for the company. Book segment. And we'll just pop that right in the middle. And before the Docs match, actually, I don't think Logan's amazing on the mic. He's not really that great, to be honest. We'll have the Doc. We'll just put it down as his entrance, but he's also, you know the Doc. He likes a good chat. He has very good performance skills, so we'll drop him in just before that. Actually, we'll do the Hangman interview right before the main event. This looks pretty decent, I think. We've got some of our new guys in action to check them out. Okay, here we go. First show. Why do I feel like I'm forgetting something? We're using that. Yes, assigned. Right, no, that's fine. Here we go. First show in tiny size, Davis Wayne Newton, with one of our best ever angle ratings. Of course, though, he has the angle idea, which was a success. That's okay, so it adds a very good boost. Because no way he would have got even close to probably a 60. But show starts off well. It's Davis Wayne Newton, the man himself, in the ring, cutting a promo. Gets the crowd hotter. He's basically just, it's the intro. He's, he's a sort of thanking everyone for coming, essentially. Well, he isn't thanking them. He's more just riling them up because he's a bit of a dickhead in that sense. Very egotistical, hyping himself up about all the changes, all the rumours coming to the company, the new belts, all the new competitors. And he's ready for any challenge, take on anyone, whatever it takes to be the best. 64, huge rating, huge. Then we have a 55. Sandman Winks on his debut gets a poor rating for the Sandman gimmick, which is not great. A poor is poor. It's pretty bad. It's like almost the lowest. But anyway, it's Rennie Honeyman who wins. He gets the pin on Marco Gonzalez with a flying leg drop. This match was more good in the sense to give Remy a bit more of a boost, who gets a 58, by the way, huge rating for him. 48 for Sandman is actually really good considering he's 24, but you would never think with like his star quality and his psychology's already so high for his age. And then of course Marco is essentially the weak link as Remy carries the match to a 55, which is really good. 183 people too, so it has took about, I believe that's about a 30-ish jump up, which will be good for our ticket sales. Wins and losses have a greater impact on popularity changes than normal. That could work in our favour when we book him strong. I feel like Sandman Winks will be a very good mid-card fighter later down the line. Yeah, I like his whole look and like what he's got going on. He really comes across as like a heel. I kind of get that vibe from him. I mean, his debute's good. 48 rating's very respectable, but the poor gimmick rating is not the best. 49. It's a promo from the man himself, the Doc, Dr. F, coming down to the ring, essentially announcing, he's excited for all the new competitors, and one of the best new competitors that we have, the man himself, Logan Wolfsbane, who he is up against next. And there we go, very good. I'm liking that. The Glorious One gimmick. Logan Wolfsbane debuts, and he gets the win on his debut against Dr. Funk by submission with a Boston Crab, pulling in a 53 rating, which is only really going to go up. Like I mentioned, I'm a big fan of Logan and Ernest, who we'll see soon in action. Not tonight, of course, but yeah. I'm glad to have him, to be honest. It'll add a whole different dynamic now with all the new signings, because some of them are obviously like top of the food chain, like top of our. So how we're going to implement them all with like Mutant, Hangman, Papa Swole, like we have a lot of guys who can do a good job. So it's going to be interesting how I'm going to sort of mid-manage it. But 52, respectable. The Doctor with a 35, which is to be expected, but 53 for Logan. Good debut. Moving into a 59 for the tag match. And of course we had another debutee who gets a very good rating, which is solid considering we got poor for Sandman Winks. I'm glad Logan and Miller, they got pretty good ratings. But it was Jules Knight and the Historian who gets the win over the new debut, Miller Ford and the Mutant, when Historian pinned Miller with a blast from the past. Very good ratings actually here. A 46 for Miller, debuting his fighting underdog gimmick, which will give a large boost to microphone skill. I don't think he has any microphone skill. Even if it gives him a large boost, it's very unlikely that's going to come in handy. It's a very good boost to have, but unfortunately it's not really deployed on the correct worker there to get good use out of it. Very good rating though. Historian hits a 50. He gets higher than Jules Knight, 49. 57 for Mutant. Yeah, this is a really good match actually. But we have up next the interview from Hangman. It's a 42. Considering Hangman's not amazing performance skill wise, 42 is very solid. That's passable for a small company, a 42. So I'm not really going to complain with that, to be honest. Solid stuff. Moving into, here we go, debuting on tiny size, the tournament, Blueprint tournament winner Papa Swole, challenging the sort of needle in his side, you could say. Needle in everyone's side. The Architect. Oh, okay. Right. Jesus. A 72. That's up there. I think that's our second best ever match. I think our best match with Frankie Boy Fernandez and the Architect got a 74. It may have actually been a 71, now I think about it. But about that, had superb wrestling and great heat. Papa Swole defeats the Architect in 18 minutes by pinfall with a boom shakalaka. And that's after a distraction from Blue Dragon. It's also worth noting here that the first ever person to beat Architect clean was in a tag match, and it was in fact Papa Swole who did it. And he's beat him again. I believe the Architect's only lost twice clean, and both times it's been to Papa Swole. He sort of is the kryptonite or whatever on his side, you could say. But it's very, very, very important to mention here that after he wins by pinfall with the boom shakalaka after a distraction from, surprise, surprise, Blue Dragon, which comes as a huge shock, as obviously as well during the match we had Hangman come in. He essentially, obviously it comes down as a distraction, but he essentially comes in with no DQ for this match, of course. He comes in and essentially just starts attacking the Architect, dropping him down. The real story of the match kind of gives the impression that not fairly, but with no interruptions, it's much more likely the Architect would probably beat Papa Swole, even though Papa Swole has beat him twice. But the Architect's demons of his pasts with Hangman and of course Blue Dragon, which is of course very unnecessary, it's came back. Karma's came essentially to bite him right on the ass. And with that recap of changes, we have Blue Dragon debuting. He changes to face, old school face gimmick, gets initial rating of adequate. What? Wait a minute, it only got adequate? I'm pretty sure I assigned an idea to this, but I feel like it would have told me here. Let's handle the changes. Hold on. He's currently healed by Blue Dragons. Is it a turn face? Wow, only gets inadequate. I have a feeling then if I never applied a character gimmick to this, it probably would have got really bad. Adequate's not horrible, but we've kind of went 2 for 2 on the gimmicks, on the gimmick ratings this show, which I mean, I feel like I'm not having much luck with him, to be honest, but not to worry. Papa Swole, as we rise in size, he gets the job done. A 66 show rating to that, I believe, is our best ever. We'll double check this before we end the episode and have a look at our finances too. But I think that might be our best show. Oh, hold on. We just said that we increased our popularity, which means, who should we give this to? Who impressed? We'll give it to Papa, of course, new champ, and we'll also give it to. I kind of want to give it to Mutant. He did really good in his match, but Remy also carried, didn't he? Who? Yeah, we'll give it to Mutant. Good performance. He's very happy. Seemed pleased. Financial report. We lose. Oh wow, we got 1,000. Our ticket sales are now outmatching our workers, albeit we left a couple workers off the show. But nice jump up in finances. We did rise in popularity, but we didn't rise in size. So I think going up 1 popularity every show or every month is kind of where we're capping. It's not really going any more than that. With obviously the odd month we don't rise in size. The main question now, as we'll advance to the end of the month, I'll need to think about, is I'm a bit undecided with the, obviously with their increase in the roster, I'm going to keep the events on an hour and a half, which probably still won't really be enough to effectively use everyone on the shows. Giving the odd person, the odd 1 or 2 people on every show the night off it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's more so if I keep 2 events a month or 1, especially now with our rise in size. I may have to test it again just to see how it looks. It's going to depend more on the finances, I think. But pretty big show though, I must say. We obviously have a new champ, which is pretty huge. Papa Swole, our 3rd champ in our small history. Okay, we made 886, which of course we did 2 shows. We take a nice bump up on ticket sales, which, being in tiny size, only applied to 1 of the events. Sponsorships took a real big boost as well. Okay, show costs is okay, it's not looking too bad actually. This should go up even more for next month. But let's quickly look at top 100s here. So yeah, Kickoff Carnage 25 was in fact, oh my god, it was our best show by so much. I think this one, Kickoff Carnage 20, was the main event with Frankie Boy Fernandez. What a huge way to start. Tiny size too, and end our tournament. I guess it kind of made sense actually why it got 72, because we ended our storyline too, didn't we? And it did. Papa Swole becoming the champ by 1 point beats the Architects match with Frankie Boy. The Architects actually in our top 5 best ever matches, which is pretty wild. Most of them is his title defenses, but huge boost up from those 2, which is really good. Okay, it's kind of funny you get top 100 attendances, but it doesn't tell you the attendance. Oh no, it does. I wasn't looking here. That's my fault. I thought it said like the name of the thing. Oops, that's awkward. But yeah, huge jump up. Almost 30 fans. Right, let's take a quick peek at popularity. I'm not that fussed about it right now. we'll need to go back. We'll need to start a new storyline too, which will probably revolve more around our belt again, but more so with just Papa Swole. Right. I don't really feel like you'll have moved. No, we'll quickly look at most here. Most that matter. Davis Wayne didn't fight on the second event. He stays. No, he went up. Sorry, he's gone up one. Did you go up? No. 28. Okay. Doctor, of course, lost one of the matches, but he's gone up. Ernest, we never used. Hangman stays at 27. Jules Knight is up to 18. Logan, he actually goes up a point. He, of course, made his debut in the last show. Marco goes up to 10. We never used Max, really. Miller stays at 13. Mutant drops one. Okay. We actually probably maybe should have made him stay strong. It doesn't necessarily matter for the guys who are much lower down on the pot, but we obviously pushed Mutant really hard here, and then it's just falling off. We'll need to be a bit careful with that. Papa Swole goes up 5 points, beating Architect, which I'm really glad he got a big boost, because he was roughly about 5 or 6 points behind the Architect. So we're hoping with the belt strapped to him we can boost him up even more. I do like Papa Swole. I feel like I used to always remember seeing him on TEW 2020, but I never ever signed him, so I must have never liked the look of him. But he is really good. Easily marketable too, loyal, ahead of their time, better as a babyface, which I feel like that's much less common. Most of the good workers I've came across are way better as a heel. It's pretty annoying. Let's go back in. Remy. Oops. He goes up 23. Sandman Winks. He, of course, wins. No, he lost his debut, but he goes up one. Stevie, we never used. The Architect, who did lose his belt, only drops one, which, you know what, I'll take. He drops one and Papa Swole gains 5, so they're both sitting in the mid-30s. Yeah, I'll take it. Historian goes up 2 points after his win with Jules Knight. Also pretty solid. Zombie Boy we never used, but he also goes up just from getting used in other companies. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't think there's too much more to go over. We've got our new workers. We have a new champ. We are tiny now in size. We kind of finally have no longer a placeholder for our belt. We'll slowly now look towards getting into Wrestle World, as well as introducing our tag team titles. But yeah, onwards and upwards. It's looking pretty good. I'm excited to keep it going. See how far we can push it. But now that we've hit tiny, it probably will be. It'll be making more money to the point where we can do something with tag team titles, sort of introduce a tag team division, as well as, of course, Wrestle World will be the next big one. But we need to make sure we're making quite a lot of money to get on Wrestle World, because we also need to get back to our merchandise. It's obviously on pause right now at level 3. Because if we do it on normal, it's 100 per week, but I prefer rapid because it's just too slow. And once we get this to maybe like level 5, 6, if it's anything like 2020, the sort of change in your income is huge, or can be huge. So I would much rather go rapid, but that's 1,000 a month. So yeah, it's just all about money now. And with the likes of Logan Wolfsbane and Ernest Youngman on the roster, in the odd time of using Zombie Boy, it should help boost our attendance. But I think I've done enough blabbing for this episode. I will cut it here, and I'll see you guys on the next one. I hope you have a good one. Have a good day. Enjoy. And thanks for watching.